What's going on, everybody? It's Famine from Famine Studios Live. Thank you for joining me on this Friday night. Trying to make these Friday night lives a little more frequently. Since I have the time and the talent and tools, I figure why not get to spend some more time with you guys, get more time to show off work, discuss ideas, and visit with friends. I'm going to let people filter into the chat. Bjorn, I appreciate you turning the lights on tonight. Snowflake, you don't stop scratching the corner of my bed. Sorry. Had to yell at the kid. Hey, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a hot minute. So I hope everybody liked the WMC episode tonight. We tried to keep it as low chaos as possible. That was fun over on Rad Toys. So it is, what is today? Somebody give me a date. Today's the 27th of September. And I'm thinking that we might do a little bit of drawing on this episode. I want to let you know I'm the drizzling shits at drawing. I'm not good. But I have some ideas that I'm trying to, flesh out is going to be the word I'll use. But I big fan of Westerns. We talked about how I wanted to lean into that sci-fi Western aesthetic. And I had this that was going to be my saloon, and I worked on it. Let me bring you guys down a little bit. I worked on it, and I just wasn't happy with it. It's cool. This is a set from Rad Toys. He picked it up for me. It is technically 1/18 scale, 3 3/4 inch closer to, but it just, no matter what I did to it, especially with the paint job, it just reminded me of A&W root beer. I was very happy with this, how this came out, this whitewashed wall that I did. That's about my favorite part of it. I just laid in planks individually by hand. I think we can do better. Now, whether or not that's using this piece and expanding on it, which is an option. I had made this base, and again, let's see, bright lights, bright studio light, there we go. I made this base, and I hand laid the planks in and did all that detail on there, and I like it, and I'm sure I can use it, but in conjunction with this, I'm just not happy with it. So that's something I want to take some time and look at with you guys today. So that's going to be the topic of tonight's stream. We might get doing some physical customizing on this. Might take some pieces off. I don't know. There's some cool stuff on here. There's that panel from something. I cannot remember what it was from. That panel that we had made ages ago on a live stream. I'd love to somehow save this wall, but I'm not sworn to anything on here. I'm not married to any of it. Like I said, I like saloons, and I want to do something along those lines. Now, there's plenty of saloons in movies, like in Tombstone. That's one of my favorites. That's one of my favorite saloons, especially in the film, just the way it was set up. I can show you guys and share the screen with you. And I'm going to go ahead and do that right meow. There you go. But Big Nose Cade Saloon, that's set up at, oh my God, with the cookies. That's at Tombstone. I love how all of the saloons and westerns, they had a facade on them. Let's see, there was the saloon in Fallout New Vegas, which was the Good Spring Saloon, I want to say. Yeah, it was the Good Spring Saloon. And that one I'm also, Pioneer Saloon it's called, okay. And it's in Good Springs in the Mojave. I like this one because it's got, even though it's a, even though it's what's the word I want to use? There we go. Even though it's this, like it has the facade and all the trappings of a saloon, it's stone, which I think would kind of rock in gimmick. And I just love that's a very famine, like it's the Fallout Saloon. It's got a metal roof. It's, you know, Western, and there's a dude in a tropical shirt and a cowboy hat, and then the van next to it. That's very, that's my life right there. So we've got options. Yeah, and that's why I said the van, because is it sharing the screen? Oh, it wasn't sharing the screen this whole time. Not a one of you said anything to me. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. So there's the saloon over there. Like I said, it's got the facade. Like, I love that look. It's got the walkway in front of it, the boardwalk. That's the phrase that I was looking for that I couldn't spit out. It was a boardwalk, and I love the boardwalk in front because you'd always see in movies like people would be outside sitting on an old rocking chair or something. In Fallout, there's somebody sitting outside a miner in the rocking chair, and I want to capture that. And I now I'm seeing this with the bricks here. It almost makes me want to. It almost makes me want to do. You're a saint, Red. Thank you for that. Before I keep babbling, let's all say hello. Bjorn is here. Blue is checking in. Hello, welcome tonight. Lord of Thane being up at, what is it, 6 hours difference? So it's like early morning for you right now. So cheers, thanks for being here. This Famine Studios, dude, follows me around, bosses people around. I don't know. I mean, it's a good idea to smack the like button. You just, or, just give it a little one of those. That seems to work out pretty well, too. Red, you're here. Howdy made it in. Welcome. The most amazing love of my life. She's here as well. And yeah, so now that I'm looking at this stone facade on this bar, it's making me think of less. Let's not use this thing. Where is it? There it is. And Jason's here. Is he signed into his account? Is he giving me views? Is he giving this a like and a thumbs up? Is he subscribed? I asked him to. And Bjorn's eating a barbecue chicken. Is he eating a barbecue chicken as well? We've got this, but again, I'm seeing that, and I feel like we've got an opportunity because I had pulled that 112 display. And I promise I didn't plan this. This is the only spot I could fit it. But like, we've got material here with bricks. And it's almost like we could absolutely make a bar facade. Because I think the solution to the problem with the bar is, number one, let's be honest, even with world building and world making and imagination, that's going to fit two people in a barkeep. So I'm thinking we can use that as the facade for the bar. We can we'll half this maybe, use it as a walkway, because I do want to use the boardwalk, the wooden planks there again. Very late. I think those would be cool as a boardwalk. And then just build off of this. And as I look at the top, I want to separate this. Here's how I put it together. Again, it was like, this is great. I laid it out so that it like locks in place, and it does. Like, that's super cool. Like, I love that. I love the idea, and this could be something else easily. I don't need to keep it as a bar, but I can scalp the pieces off it. But like, let me show you how I put this together, because this was supposed to be 4 walls to a building, like a single story thing, and I pieced it together with sticks and foam. I say sticks, they're toothpicks, to like build it. And so I think I can get this apart again, and I think we can do something with it. So like I'm already starting to make up my mind. My gears are turning. I wish I could remember the maker that cut this kit for me. I want to say it was something Asheville, but it was quite literally, I bought it right at the beginning of 2020, like in January. I placed my order, and the city, he was producing manhole covers that you could buy to use for your ground, and so I did the city of Albany, and he made some Albany manhole covers. That's awesome. Man, I, for the life of me, cannot remember his name, and I kind of feel bad about it, but it was 4 years ago, going on 5, so a little less bad. Let's see what we can get this apart here. I see Jess came in. Hello, Jess. Okay, Stagecoach Station, yeah. Let's be smart, which is not a phrase I often say, because let's be honest. let's be honest about that. I'm not being smart. But let's grab a safety knife. We'll do a little quick surgery here. I'll do a little quick surgery here. I just want to cut through these pieces holding it in place, because we can reuse most of this foam that's on the back for like chunks or joining things together, adhesion, binding things. Let's go. I'm cutting away from myself, but I'm also following the line that's already there, just so that I can save myself a bit of a headache later. There we go. That's free. And now I'm cutting down into my mat so I don't take a limb. All right. So there are. I spiked this thing together. Like I put this together. Oh, look at that. Come on. Toothpick. Like I put this damn thing together so it was hard to pick apart. So that's cool. And then we have all this stuff that we can play off of later. We can use these for, sides of the building or whatever, for other things. But I like the idea. Just looking at that, good springs. Let me bring you guys down. I was all set. I literally have a giant piece of butcher paper I was gonna put on the table like Home Alone, like I was Kevin McAllister, and I had Sharpies and pens, and I was gonna paint things. But just looking at that, it scratches the itch of, okay, it's Western. There are bricks in sci-fi. We've established in lore there's bricks all over Gimmick. Andor had bricks all over it in Yavin 4. There's temples made out of stone. There's 3 things there. And then also I can greebly it up with wires and make this thing fit that aesthetic that I'm looking at. So I'm going to bring you guys down, bring you to the level that I'm seeing, and we'll take a look at this. Okay. So let me get you set up here with a little video of the compy. So I'm thinking you can always reattach this. This can come off. That was just a piece of cardstock that I had stuck up there because I was going to put heavy, road material to make it look like the street. But yeah, recycling, Red, like you said, that's exactly what we're doing. We're recycling an old project into a new one. Oh, that's a turtle. Oh, yes. I thought it was the recycling symbol. Sorry. Yes, let's give Jess her due. Jess, you are the turtle person for this chat. So I can do a couple of things right now. I've got the option to, we can cut this flush here with the windows, which would be cool because that's way closer to 118. We could also cut down and open these up, but I think that would be almost too tall for openings for 118. So let me grab a figure. I gotta have, nope, there's Ahsoka. $3 Ahsoka figure here. She's good for something. Yeah. I think if I cut it all the way down there, that's far too big. Whereas this is big enough for larger characters in the 1/18 scale to make their way through. This is a 4-inch figure. So I think we can cut this off here, and it's perfect because the person that CNC'd this, or cut it with a laser, I think it was laser done, that actually lines up perfectly. Let's snatch these off. Use these for something. These were ones that I cut on my Proxxon hot wire cutter back when I was doing 112 stuff. And I cut all these details as well. So I'm certain there's a recycling symbol. I can't imagine Apple would not. This is all XPS foam and toothpicks. I guess I toothpicked. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I toothpicked the shit out of this when I put it together. So that's cool. I guess I'm just gonna pull a Johnny 5 here and disassemble. I was waiting for somebody to go, no disassemble. Nobody? Really? That's fair. So I got this here. All right. These are glued on them. Good thing whole family only use hot glue. Cool. Clean this debris off. The debris off the bottom. Tar, what's going on? You're about to lose power. Well, Bjorn, be safe. Do not stay on here if you need to conserve your battery, please. I love and appreciate you being here, my friend, but I'd rather you be safe, conserve your battery if necessary. So please do not be afraid to dip out. No offense will be taken, and we all just want to see you be safe and your family. Take care of everybody in your clan and keep them dry and safe. So I'm going to cut that there. So do this. And here's a tip for you. If you're somebody who does a lot of craft work, EVA foam, any type of cutting XPS, foam will dull your blade quicker than wood will, because it's so fibrous that when you drag your blade across it will dull your blade. This is probably the third blade that I've had in this knife in as many years, and I just sharpen it in between my cuts with a knife sharpener. This was maybe a $10 when it was brand new purchase, and it's got a coarse and a fine on there, so you can just do the pull it through the coarse a couple of times, take off any burrs or anything on your blade, and then drag it through the fine just to hone it. Or if you're somebody who can do it like that, you can do it that way. I prefer that for bigger knives, less these hobby craft knives. But we'll just go ahead and do that. I'm actually going to turn this so it's easier for me to cut. And I'll just go in. And it's okay with foam when you're cutting XPS foam, if you're not using a hot wire cutter to do this. Take a couple of passes. You don't have to do everything in one cut and push down on things. Do a couple passes. And that's going to guarantee that you get a pretty clean cut. You have way more control over your knife, and you are way, way less likely to injure yourself or, your cutting surface. Because I know some of you guys work on your kitchen tables, and I'm sure that there are family members who would like that table not to have a bunch of scratches and cuts on it. That's what the cutting mat's for. But I'm also using a blown Walmart table. But check that out. And I can even go as far, if I wanted to really beef up the signage or whatever, is to build that and then maybe put that up there, So now the building's tall. It's got that ledge. I could put some spotlights on there and make it look like that's intentionally the sign. So that's certainly an option that we could do. We could visit a little bit later, or maybe I could even frame it out with some wood and really make it decorative and Western. But I'm digging this, and then just to give you a show for scale, if that's the floor, that's how tall Ahsoka is in the doorway. So I think I'm pleased with this. I thought for a hot second about cutting there or there, making this one big door, but I do like the idea of having double swinging doors on this saloon. And then there comes the, well, we could do the double swinging doors, but have it, have it raised out a little bit. So there's options there. I think I'm going to leave that as is. But if you can see the detail on here, this was clearly cut with a machine, whether it was a laser or CNC. So there's burrs, little tiny burrs in there. And what I'll have to do, and what I was planning to do when I was doing this originally, was just go line by line and knock those down. Could do that. Or when we do this, I could spackle it. I could actually mix up some spackle and mix it up with some paint and get it in the recesses and then wipe it all off and let it cure just like I would kind of like if you were grouting stone. So that's an option there. I'm pretty chuffed with this, and I'm liking this. What are you guys' thoughts? How do you feel about this? Share with me here. And feel free to comment about my wonderful Tyrannosaurus Rex ring. I love this thing. But I mean, we could really go classic, like sci-fi Western, and put wanted posters. We'll do a couple in like actual material, but then I've got some transparency paper with prints on there. We could do little wanted posters on there too. So it looks like high tech and almost like that in Firefly when they get their wave across the core and they're holding it in their hands and it's like a clear screen with a picture on there. I think that'd be pretty neat. So we got Tank thinks that's a double door is a good idea. And that Bjorn is saying I should spackle. It's a nice option. Yeah, I'm thinking that's a good idea. And I'm liking this so far. We can worry about walls later, but I do like that we'll have some extra material. Maybe I clad the little sides, something like this, where this is all we'll see if you're looking at it from the street level. I guess that's the best way to do it. But we'll see that. But I can do the side walls and clad them in wood, or we can make a bigger boardwalk that's kind of wraparound. Who knows? But yeah, I'm really, 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 really happy with this idea. Honestly, again, I was all set. I've got a big old roll of butcher paper right over there. I've got my pen and pencil. I had my ruler out, and I'm like, all right, we'll draw it like Home Alone and this, that, and the third. But I love the way this stuff happens sometimes. I like the way this works. So, yeah. All right, that's the stream, folks. Bye. No, I'm kidding. So some things we'll have to do to give this texture is we'll do an aluminum foil ball and we'll roll it around. We'll give it, press in some of the bricks. We'll add some blaster fires, take some chunks out of bricks, things of that nature. We'll spend some time putting a lot of love into this. And you're welcome for the book. I'm glad that I got it for you and you're able to have it. Got a text. I like that. We can do the traditional padded door frame that they have in a lot of Star Wars inside. So we have the double doors and then just slightly recessed as that padded frame. Like I said, we can do a little bit of an inset for lighting or just for depth of field. So we can have a character kind of peeking out. Maybe they don't want to go outside because they're getting called out like the yellow belly cur that they are. You get out of here. We have our shootout at 5 o'clock. Or you get on your blurb and you ride out of here and I never see you again. Keep the 2 openings. Yeah, I love 2 openings. 3 is my favorite, but 2 is good. Spackle the like button. Spackle that like button. That's a different kind of website, though, when people spackle the like button. So let's, I want to switch views again. Let me get you guys set up here. I'm thinking another thing, and this is actually something that one of our chat members here, one of my patrons, brought up. Red mentioned it being maybe it doesn't need to be a flat view, but I'm thinking maybe if we add a 45 degree, almost like example. It's poor example, but you know, I'd cut it and bevel it and all that stuff, but like a 45 degree angle this way and this way, and make it protrude from an area so it looks, obviously it's a facade, so there will be depth. And then I can build the interior of the bar as a playset elsewhere. So when I do my shots and stuff, it doesn't have to be through these doors. I don't have to worry about that. Like, I think that's a good option. I'm going to turn the window fan around because I just realized all day it's been blowing the air out of the room, and now it's cooler outside than it is inside, and I'm hot. I mean, you know, this guy right here. Ladies, fellas. How does Limp Bizkit say? Hey, ladies, hey, fellas, and the people who don't. I don't know. I'm gonna open the window or turn the fan around. You smell big sitting over here, being beautiful. I know this smells big. Well, that's immediately better. All right. Let's get that off the floor. So, and I think if I do, as I'm brainstorming this, if I do the footprints for this, and I do the boardwalk out, we can put some posts out there, like horse hitches, for speeder bikes. Think horse hitches, but also that scene, two movies that come to mind, Terminator 2, when the T-800 goes and steals the guy's bike, barkeep comes out, shoots the shotgun, and he's like, "Can't let you steal a guy's wheels or man's wheels, son." Arnold, the T-800's like, he takes the thing. So like all the bikes are out, and then also classic Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, where all the bikes are lined up and he knocks them over. He winds up joining the motorcycle gang after dancing to tequila at the bar. I like that idea. Just out of humor. Ooh. Oh, I think we might be onto something with it. What do we think? I dig that. I'm liking that a lot. And I guess I would use this thickness because it's easy to get at the store and I already have it. Maybe I could cut that at a triangle or whatever, but I like that height right there. So let's just pretend that I would cut it out a little bit. You know, have the boardwalk about that way. Yeah, I like that. So maybe I'd go a little lower to the ground. That's also an option too. This one sit nicely there. So I mean, I'm digging that. I'm digging the idea of that. I could do. It's a railing piece that I rescued off of an old set. If you guys remember that rain picture that I did in the neons, I had this as the railing on that little bridge, the walkway connecting the two doorways, and I copped that off of there before I moved the doorway, before I moved the bridge to something else. But you know, tie your speeder bike up to that out front, something like that. That'd be cool. Or I can do a few of these guys. Something like that. I know one of the doors I want to have a they serve droids in pieces. One of the things I want to do is have a ramp on my entrance for wheeled vehicles or people with wheels for feet, for droids with rolling tracks. Accessibility, you know? Yeah, I'm excited because, like I said, it was either going to be keep this or scrap it. This thing here, and I don't mean scrap it like I was going to smash it up, but don't let somebody step down into the sides. The floor is down. Ooh, that's a good idea. I like that idea. We're going to go ahead and put that up there, and I'm going to give that a star on my end so I can keep that. Thank you, sir. And I am going to pop. Once you pop, the fun don't stop. I read that on a bag of chips, I think it was. I'm going to pop this off of here and maintain this piece. That's a good piece. It's a good breed. You know, it's complex without knowing what it is. I'm going to pop this off of here too. I don't know that we'll use it on the new design, but it's a piece worth having. I'm guessing you mean Tatooine, but also love the idea of tattoo queens having their own type of building. Oh, Bjorn, if I pop a top, it needs to be from a super chat. And that'll be on the other website, you know what I'm saying? Speaking of the other website, go get a shirt at TeePublic. They're $16 now. You can also go over to Next Gen Vanner and get some cool retro-inspired shirts. My girlfriend makes them. She's got ones that are like keep hydrated and easily distracted by tits and tacos. Go buy one. Buy stickers. They're 35% off as well. Go buy them. And then also, you know, just like we've got the patrons. I love my patrons. These guys help with so much. I've been using my new camera, my new gimbal to film my vlog, and that is in no small part to them. They help contribute by helping me, sorry for smacking the camera, by helping me pay for StreamYard and things like that, which lightened up my wallet enough to purchase the camera to make content. And that's one of those things where I said, you know, the proceeds from this stuff when I do these toy and model making things don't go to toys and models, although I'm sure there's some people who wouldn't care. I pay that out of my pocket. Like that's me. If I can't buy toys that week, I'm not going to dip into my Patreon money and be like, oh, let me get this. That's on me. But I can use the thing from Patreon to build things up for the channel, and that's one of them. So again, I appreciate that, you guys. That helps so much and alleviated a lot of my worry because, you know, camera phone does a great job. It's limited in what I want to do. The gimbal, there's some more options. It's smaller. I can take it more places. It films in 4K if I want to. I can do that on my phone. I can store my phone. I can edit. It opened up a lot of opportunity for me. So I'm going to have to come up with a way to pop that bitch off because that sucker is on there. But let's see this one. And somebody asked what this building is from. Let's see. It was TAR. No, it was Tank. This was a birdhouse from Rad. He brought it. It was a cool little kit. He brought it, sent it to me from Canada, and I've had various iterations of this building in gimmick for the saloon, but I just didn't sit right for me. I'm not going to get rid of the building. I want to use it for something, but it just was not right for what I want for the saloon. There we go. Now something's letting go. Ooh. Yeah. You dirty girl. Or boy. Dirty thing. Slut's gender neutral, right? If I call something a dirty slut. Yeah, let it go. Hey, Famine, how'd you lose an eyeball? I wasn't wearing PPE while I was trying to pop something off of a display, and I hurt myself. Oh, that's good. Did you learn a lesson? Yeah, don't do it on camera so people don't know, and you can tell them you lost your fight and your eye in a fight. There we go. I don't know that the acetone would take the glue up because it's so fused to the wood. It's on there. I think I might have used liquid nail. Yeah, it was CA glue and some other stuff on there. That's off now. Just a great Greebly panel. I think it could use a different repaint and maybe a repositioning, but we don't want to lose that. Yeah, there's hot glue, there's super glue here, there probably was a dab of liquid nail. I'm gonna have to be careful with this one, but a little applied force, a little leverage. We'll pop that right off. See? Sometimes you gotta use science on it, science and physics. Oh, that's a crack down there. All right, we're not gonna break. We don't want. Oh, it's broken. No, I did that myself. That was on me. I'll figure this out. Axles from Toys R Us. Yeah, you're not. That's not a bad idea. I mean, the other thing, and this is not me prying with a knife, with a tool. This is me creating a gap into the glue so I can get a tool in there to separate that off. Because I do not, number one, see, it's stuck now, so I have to kind of work it back, get it out. These blades, they're designed to snap. They are designed to break off. And technically, they're designed to only use a little bit at a time, and then you break that off and you put out the next blade. We use them a little differently in the hobbies, the various hobbies that I'm in. So just keep that in mind. Do not use this to pry because it will break the blade. You run the risk of hurting yourself and also getting metal in your fucking eyeball. And I've seen people who have gotten FOD or an object debris into their eyes and not had a good time with the optometrist and had to wear eye patches for a long period of time. Missed out on work, missed out on other things. So 0 out of 10, do not recommend. But I'm digging that idea of the corner pre-weathering, but also like I don't want this to break any more than it already is. I can fix it. Okay, see, I broke it anyway. I can glue that back together. Maybe. That's a shame, because that was a good Greebly. That was a Greebly that Greg Greebly would have appreciated. Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to stop breaking things. That's borked. Lesson learned. That's some jagged plastic, too. I could have hurt myself there, so I'm just going to stop. I'll take a sanding stick to that or something later, but hey, building's still here. And I had cut a hole in the bottom so that I could put lights in there and then have it illuminate some screens. But yeah, building's fine. That building will be able to be used for other things. It's just currently not going to be a saloon. But I'm digging the idea about that. I'll probably come out to about here just to create drama, create lighting opportunities. You know, you'll have shadows there. I could have a guy walking out here, you know, hanging up, posted in the corner. Nah. Yeah. No, that's broken, my friend. That's I think that's fused on there. I mean, I don't know. That's the other thing too, is while I may be a maker, it then becomes how much is my time worth that I would sit there and try and glue that back together, fuse it in place, sand it all again. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a wild hair up my ass and decide to do it one day. But I do want to show you guys. I pulled one of Rad Toys Galaxy's doors that he had printed for me. I like this door. Very, very sci-fi. I mean, obviously, it's a science fiction door. Where the hell are you going to see a door like this? I'm thinking of putting it somewhere on one of these levels. It fits lovely inside. But just give you a couple of finishing tips for your 3D prints. I'm not going to make you sit through the compies again. But what I like to do is I've got various abrasion types here, sandpaper, sanding sticks, or nail files, whatever you want to call them. And just one of the things I like to do before I get any primer on these is take the sanding stick at an angle. So I guess this would be a 45-degree angle. And I just go back and forth. And that gives everything just a slight roundness, takes off any edges or high points on there. And just do that all the way around all the deep recesses. It's going to make painting this a lot easier because the paint's not going to have these little tiny lips that you get from 3D printing, blocking access to where the paint should go, the primer should go to fill in any gaps. And we'll see if I can show you the difference. You can kind of see how that casts the shadow. But over here, since I've knocked that lip down and just sanded that a little bit, just a tiny bit with a sanding stick, that looks better. And then you can also just hit the exterior of the radiuses too, the radii, the radiuses, and go around them. And it just adds a little bit of not wear or weathering, but just a little more realism to it. Makes it a little more, looks like maybe bent metal or fabricated metal and less like a 3D print. Because when it prints these things, it does. It has a little bit of extrusion because it comes out hot plastic and it's got a little bit of a ledge there. But when you go through and you take that down and then hit it with a sanding stick on both sides, you use the rough side first and the smooth side, you eliminate that lip. It just makes it that much nicer and that much easier. I've seen some people use a flat blade and treat it just like they're removing a seam line from a model. And you could do that, but still at the end of it, you're going to have to, or you should, hit it with a piece of sandpaper or a sanding stick just to make sure that it's all clear of burrs and debris, detritus, and other things that start with D. Dominoes, donkeys, Deirdre. But I'm going to be doing this door. I will probably paint it. This is probably not going to be one that I film my painting process for. Maybe I'll take some pictures, a little picture one, but this is just going to be a straight spray paint it, primer one color, and then do multiple passes of paint and weathering, and then decide where it's going to go. But I really like this door. It's very science fiction, and I wanted to share that with you guys. Yeah, this is the door, one of the doors that you made me, Rad. I was just telling them that I like it, and to hit up that Canadian guy, and he'll make doors for you. I actually didn't volunteer your time, but I did tell them that you made the door. Now, if they reached out to you and they're like, Brad, we love that door that you made for Famine. That guy's pretty great. Do you think you can make me a door like you made for Famine? Because that Famine guy is pretty great, and I like one of his doors. I could have a matching door with him. And then we can make friendship bracelets like the Taylor Swift people do. And I could give it to him. Except one of the beads would be like a door. Do you think you could do that for me, Rad? And then you could say yay or nay. Yeah, he can door like a boss. Bjorn calls it the Canadian Door Company. There you go, Bjorn. And I like that this door is bigger because that means that the dinosaurs can walk through it, and I don't have to contrive some way in my mind. And yes, it's world building and imagination, but I want to know in my mind how the dinosaurs got to higher levels. Now they walked out through one of these big ass doors, which that just means there's another big door somewhere else they went into. Easy peasy. You know, I do want everything to be able to be accessed by my figures. So if somebody can walk up a ramp to get to another level, they can, or climb a ladder. Well, I could be like, oh, they fly and take a taxi and stuff. I just kind of like the idea of playability in my display. It's a display, but it is kind of a playset. You know, I play with my toys. I hope you guys play with your toys too. And then you play with your action figures. Hey-oh! Bjorn likes doors and he cannot lie. All you other world builders can't deny. When a door sets up with an itty-bitty space, nothing big can get through it. I don't know. I'm not a hip hop. I don't do the raps. This isn't 8 Mile, right? But yeah, I put a little bit of time into sanding some of the stuff and just knocking down the sharp edges because, again, the printer's extruding hot plastic, so the final passes are going to have a little bit of overlap. JJ set on the side there. Sandpaper and Scotch-Brite and some sanding sticks. This is a Famine Studios pack. But yeah, just knocking down some of these things. Some people will spray their 3D prints with filler primer, which for cosplay and for wearable props and things like that, I absolutely recommend. For space station stuff that's going to be dirty and weathered and world worn, you can prime it, and then I like to do just a coating of Mod Podge stippled on there, which gives it a little bit of texture, which accounts for a lot of my detail on things, which lets me get away with a lot of shit. Example being another door that I was going to finish. You know, that's 3D printed, but I stippled it with Mod Podge and paint, and then Mod Podge again, and it gave that metal a hammered kind of look. You don't see the print lines, and it looks cool in photos. So just consider that. You know, consider what you value your time in your hobby. And like I said, I know some people who really, 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 really like spending the time to sand and file and sand it again. I just go for the big pieces, the easy work that to me gives it a little more value, gives it a little more standing as something that's, you know, manufactured, but it's world worn. A little less like, oh, it was manufactured recently, and more of a somebody made this at one point and it's been standing up against the time and the hands of time and has weathered a beating. But I love that is big enough for a dinosaur. Walk on it, you know? Look at a T-Rex and fit through there. So, excuse me. Oh my God, I'm losing my voice. Oh God, it's got me. You like this? This is my streaming cup. It makes me feel fancy. I believe this is one of the 2 cups that I bought in Gloucester, Massachusetts about 15 years ago. And I kept them for like some fancy occasion. And then I realized, you know, I'm 38 years old. I can do fancy on a live stream. But yeah, as much as or as little time as you want to put these things, that's entirely up to you as the maker, the person that owns it. But I think it adds a little something. And it's just one of those things that I do with mine that I thought I would pass that tip along to you guys, because I know some people, they get their 3D printed stuff and they hit it with some spray paint or they hit it with brush on paint and they're ready to rock and roll. And that's awesome. I just give it a little bit more, a little bit extra fuss with it, I guess, and go from there. So if you're ever doing that, $1.59 at Target for sanding sticks for like 30 of them. I found that they're actually cheaper at Target than they are at the dollar store. I just pick them up there when I need them. And they're good for that. Use the rough side first. And then follow it up with that smoother side. Just take away all the burrs and stuff. And I think that makes a difference between the sanded side and the non-sanded side. And I do appreciate you guys tuning in for this. The only reason I'm not going buck wild on that bar back there, the saloon, is because I've got to think and I've got to design how I'm going to do the sidewalls if I do them that way, things like that. So maybe we'll make that a thing that I do on the live, or at least I will document it. I've been vlogging all week, little things here and there that I do as kind of a, hey, here's how my world building's going. Here's what I've been doing. Here's what my hobby is like. Here's how Famine spends some of his time during the day when he's not doing other things. I don't know. Give you guys a little more of a look. I do want to say thank you unequivocally. I'll bring, to show sincerity, I'll bring up my face. I do want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the people that reached out to me this week about my live stream from Tuesday. That was probably my biggest live stream turnout that I've had during the live. So many people had kind words to say and comments, and reached out and said, hey, I'm either going through the same thing, or I recently went through that with my own artwork. And just a lot of kind words, a lot of nice, genuine things and thoughts that were shared with me, and I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Honestly, I do. And it's just cool and comforting as an artist, but also as a human being, to know other people went through a similar thing, and we can talk about it, and we can be grown-ups, and we can work through these things. So I sincerely appreciate that, the commentary, and also I appreciate the turnout from everybody who showed up. Like, couldn't have gone better. I mean, I was nervous. Rarely I get nervous for going live. I don't mind it. I did a bigger show, smaller show. I don't mind talking to the camera. I like hosting. I like communicating with you guys. I like the relationships that we have and we built here on Instagram. And I was nervous because I had a lot to say that some people, might not love the idea that I point out a lot of similarities and things that, visually are there, or that I feel those things in myself, in my work. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everybody who had something kind to say, and everybody who reached out and wanted to talk, and I chatted with and discussed about those things. You guys, it was a lot of patrons. It was a lot of other people. It was a lot of stuff going on, but I did promise some Q&A from my Instagram and my Patreon. So I'm going to pull up some Instagram questions and we'll do them rapid fire with you guys. Sorry, I got distracted. Let's see. We're going to go to the post. Anybody who's looking for the post, it is on my my latest post over on Instagram, where I show off some stuff and put up my thumbnail for the live. So we're going to pop into the comment section. I got 11 questions on there, so we'll do these. Trick or treating. Oh, a trick for you to get over your fear of public speaking. Well, Bjorn, that's good. Always good to have that. So we're going to go through these rapid fire. Bjorn got the first question in. The first question is, what is your least favorite toy line to customize? It's a tie between Final Faction and G.I. Joe with the O-ring. Two different reasons. Final Faction, because they're 5 POA and they're crappy plastic and it's really tough to work with them. And the opposite reason for the Joes is they are very customizable, but the paint rub, because the O-ring system is difficult for me to overcome. I've gotten a little better at it, but they're not my cup of tea. I do like utilizing parts from them, but just at the end of the day, O-ring figures are punishment to me. Like if someone came to me and said, Famine, I'm going to pay you $5,000 to make me these 20 O-ring G.I. Joe figures, I'd take the job and I'd hate every minute of it. So there's that. Zilla says, what do they drink on Gimmick? They drink Carillion gin. They drink space rum. They drink engine fuel. They drink liquid from plants. There's a lot of different things that they drink on Gimmick. They drink Jawa juice. They drink a lot of stuff. There's all kinds of crazy things that they have, and I'll go into lore about the bar and the different things. Space whiskey, Tank says, and that is a good one. Let's see. My friend Ellie says, which non-theropod dinosaur do you think would coolest fit into Gimmick or to just cyberpunk out in general? I was packing up my dinosaurs, and I have so many ceratopsians, and I think it would be a triceratops. I think that they're just dope. You know, they rival the size of a car or a tractor, a tank. They're huge, they're cool, and I love those. And Tank the Immortal asks, what are some of the factions and organizations operating around? Well, there are the Imperials that you guys have seen. I've done a lot of those guys. There are rebels that are operating within Gimmick. There are browncoats. There are unions. There are union-busting organizations. There is one mystery organization that I haven't busted out yet until I start making actual like photo series, photo novels, things like that. But I've been sitting on them. I'm very excited about that. I even have the main tool that will be used by this group already customized and set aside. So there's that. Playing My 375 says, do you prefer to pop and swap or to repaint? Yeah, depends. Even most things that I pop and swap, I still will give a wash or a dry brushing, just because I want everything. Like I want everything in Gimmick to be custom, and I know that's so freaking anal, but I think as I've come into my art style that it helps them mesh and helps them look uniform, and it helps me enjoy the toys that I bought even a little bit more. So. Yeah, everything. I don't mind popping and swapping, but I also like repainting everything. Let's see here. Playing My 375 also has another question that is, what was the biggest mistake or accident that happened when working in the hobby? I mean, you guys just saw what happened there. I just broke something that I was really excited to save. I've cut myself before on accident, not using my tools properly, cutting towards myself instead of away. Oh, if Kenny and Jason are still watching, I've still got the scar on my thumb from when I was trying to customize a figure to go on my 6-inch display, which is still here on the channel, one of my higher viewed videos. I was using my Leatherman, and I was using the saw, but I wasn't using it as a saw. I was using it to push, which is not what you do. And I said in my own head, Famine, you're going to get hurt. You should stop. And I was like, okay. I literally rationalized with myself. If this doesn't work, then I'll stop. It worked. And I went through my thumb right into the good meats. Into that deep thumb. I should have gotten stitches for sure. My thumb was pretty useless for a couple of weeks. I had it bandaged up. Don't recommend. Do not cut towards yourself. Do not use tools that are not designed for what they use. So don't use a saw to try and chop something, just like you wouldn't use an axe to try and saw through a plank. Same principle. Don't do it. Another one from Playing with My 375. I think he wins the lottery for the most questions. How do you feel about making clutter, small debris, or trash? Would you rather buy things like this? No, I like it. I like making little debris piles. There are some up there. I like stacking little bricks, adding Mod Podge to them, sprinkling things in, adding fake plants, putting little pieces of like robot debris, small cans crumpled up, things like that. I like that. That adds that little layer of realism to designs. That's one of the reasons here on the ground there are definitely spots of like oil and blood and like stains, and I'll go over like the oil. I'll put it on there like a black, and then I'll go over it with Mod Podge, gloss Mod Podge, so it shines, so it has that slickness of looking like oil. There's in that corner over there, which you guys cannot see obviously because you're not here, but you've seen it in some pictures, in the corner where the Saturn neon light is, where the gas station is, the 7-Eleven. There's little piles of bricks and debris that I put together and then fused to the brick walls, so like kind of like they crumble down. I really enjoyed making those. Those were really fun. Which is weird. Like, it sounds trite, like, oh, it's really fun. But like, no, I genuinely enjoyed that part of the process. The Web Will Walk the Earth asks what the most grotesque dinosaur was, because I shared that meme where they were mean to the Stegosaurus and called him the most grotesque creature that ever did walk the Earth. I think the most grotesque dinosaur that walked the planet was whatever old fogey scientist / reporter wrote that story and put that picture of the Stegosaurus who was doing nothing wrong, just being a skeleton, and they talked shit. Cosplaying with my 375. That is playing with my 37. I think he's won the lottery. You win. You win the most questions. Asks which paint tastes the best. I will tell you which paints don't taste the best, because there's so many people in the miniature painting hobby that are guilty of this. It's gross, but so many of us do it. It's where, and this is a clean brush that I wash where we'll be painting, and we need to find the tip. Like that. I try so hard not to do it. I've gotten way better at it. But any oil paint or wash, horrible. Don't do it. Better off. I worked with a guy. I used to work in aerospace for an unnamed company. They use a paint that is radioactive when aerosolized. When it hardens and cures, it is no longer radioactive. This dude would dip his paintbrush in and be touching something up like this, and he'd do that with that nasty paint that was arguably radioactive at some point recently and hadn't dried yet, and he would just to make yeah, absolutely not. Disgusting. 0 out of 10. Do not do that. Let's see. Phoenix Outpost asks, which cryptids would you most like to see made for 118? Jackalopes, which Dime Novel Legends has coming out. Krampus, which is more lore than cryptid, that's also coming out. Sasquatch. I've had an idea on how to make a couple of Sasquatch, skunk ape, Bigfoot type creatures. I would like to see the creature that we don't say the name out loud of from the Appalachians. I think that would be very cool. I can't say like Nessie and Champ because if it's a plesiosaur, it's in Jurassic. Like I have a couple of them for that reason. I was like, oh, cool, it could be like my little Nessie proxy in life, just in life, not in Gimmick. Nessie doesn't live here in Gimmick. So those types of things, I think those would be really cool. There's so many neat things happening in the toy world, and also 3D printing has facilitated a lot of creativity in making stuff like that. I saw somebody do like a Steve Carell action figure. Not an Office, like the character in The Office, but just a Steve Carell action figure. You couldn't do that. You just go, you could, but you'd be working so hard on it forever, and it would be just a one-off, and this person could just 3D print various like Steve Carell action figures. So that's cool. Not that Steve Carell's a cryptid. Steve, if you see this, I promise, my friend, you're a talented actor. You're not a cryptid. It was a poor comparison, but it fit. Huckleberry Prospect asks, do you have a self-insert figure for Gimmick? And have you made newer iterations of yourself as your skill set grew? I have my avatar in Gimmick. I have not done anything else to him. I've been utilizing him pretty well. He's held up to a lot of posing and play. I will be making different versions of myself, different head sculpts, because I have so many. I've used the Tim Morrison Boba Fett figure because he has the same brow line and nose as me in pictures, and so that allows me to sculpt my beard and have a very good facsimile of me. Then I dry brush it the correct skin tone, and then I apply the appropriate washes, and it looks pretty damn close to me. I also just heighten his eyebrows a little bit because he has that very terse Boba Fett eyebrow line, and so I just heighten them a little bit, and it looks like me. People say, "Oh wow, that's you. Did you get your face 3D scanned?" And I said, "No, I'm a starving artist. Give me money." And then they leave. I don't know why. Patreon down there, by the way, Famine Studios X. You can sign up and join. There is a free tier if that's your jam. There are paid tiers. Go check it out. And so I've got another question in the chat. It's from Red. It says, the new setup still going to be gimmick, or is it going to be neo gimmick or something else? No, it still will be gimmick. Gimmick has a very, very important place in my heart as a name. I have the planet. I named the planet. The planet's name is Consequence. And yeah, I'm not going to rename Gimmick. Gimmick is going to be Gimmick, and there will be other parts of the planet eventually. And yeah, so it's going to stay Gimmick. But I'm glad that we did the Q&A. Let me check to see if any of the patrons sent me anything over there. We love to see. We love a supportive patron here. Gotta switch to my creator profile. Okay, no questions there. Cool. So everybody actually followed the instructions and left them in the comment of the post. Good job, patrons. All right, let's see here. There was one other thing I did want to go over. Can't remember what the fuck it is. So, I appreciate you guys. You guys have definitely... That's gonna be the location, I think. It's gonna be set out. I'm excited. I have so many ideas like racing through my head. I'm gonna sit down, draw them out, pick them, work through them, workshop some angles, things like that. But I'm excited about this. Love this idea. I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be cool there, and yeah. Excited. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you liked what you saw. I'm glad that you guys hit me up with those questions. I like engaging in that way, like answering them. So you guys know where to find me. Famine Studios X on Patreon, on Instagram, on TeePublic. By the way, if you want to get a Famine Studios shirt or a Rusty Jackalope Provisions Company, that guy right there. That little, does it show me pointing the correct way on the screen? That shirt right there, go get that shirt. It's a great shirt. $16. I still get $4, which means the TeePublic gets less. I'm cool with that. They print it and everything, but they can afford to give me $4 out of this thing. All right, so buy it while it's cheaper, and I get $4. Buy some stickers, magnets. I do see a question just came in here. Blue asks, are you going to add a top floor to the bar or a catwalk? I may add a railing around there and a ladder, but I don't know that I'll be adding another level because of how close it is to, with this up here, it will be awfully close to the ceiling, but who knows? And yeah, go buy my merchandise, helps pay the bills. StreamYard's going up in price. I like StreamYard. I would like to continue using them. I have to see what new features, if any, they are offering, because there was a lot of pushback from creators and even businesses that use StreamYard that they just jacked the prices up. New company came in, bought them out, jacked the prices, and didn't promise us anything. They didn't say, oh, like, hey, hi, we're new here, we're taking over, but also here's these new features we're going to give you. They literally just came in and raised the price. So I guess there's been pushback, plenty of it from the community, and rightfully so. So we will see what happens there. I may have to switch to another streaming service, but that shouldn't affect the consistency of streams that are coming out. I always stream on Tuesdays. I'm adding Fridays after WMC when I can. There will be plenty of times, I'm sure, with the holidays coming up and other things that I need to devote my time to, where I won't be able to stream on Fridays, but Tuesdays are pretty much a lock. Yeah, so because Gimmick is built out of things and into things, I don't want to set myself for heights and things. I just kind of wing it. And I like that. The walled cities of Kowloon, the favelas in Brazil, people's cabins out in the woods, like old mining cabins, mine shafts, mining villages, company towns, trailer parks. These are all things that I pull inspiration from. Communities, communes, those things, like how they interact and how things are placed, all feed into how I'm building this. So, yeah. But that said, again, Ko-Fi is available. Famine Studios X is also on Ko-Fi. You can super chat. You can send super thanks, I think, if you're into that sort of thing. You know what helps the channel is if you like the video and you're subscribed. If you click the share button and just copy the link, that tells YouTube, like, oh, snap. This person thinks that this is good enough to share with somebody. We should bump this up in the algorithm and let other people see it, which is what I would like. I would like to meet more artists, and I would like to meet more people that are into this stuff and have them come and have conversations and stream and hang out and do things. So, as I said, like, subscribe. I hope you guys are well. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe if you are in an area where there is storms going through. And as always, you know what I got to do. Too sweet me.